The first time she asked me if I would marry a woman twice my age, I nearly dropped the box I was carrying. It was a bright afternoon in early spring. The sun painted the sidewalks with soft light, children rode bicycles through the neighborhood, and everything looked ordinary. But what happened that day changed my life forever. Before we begin, if you believe kindness can change destinies and that everyone deserves a second chance, please like this video, comment where you're watching from, share it with someone who believes in hope, and subscribe to Love and Destiny for more emotional stories that touch the heart. At 28 years old, Rowan Mercer felt as though life had already exhausted him. He worked long shifts for a local moving company, lived in a small rented apartment, and spent most evenings alone. His dreams had once been bigger. He had wanted to become an architect, but family hardships forced him to leave college and start working full-time. Years passed quickly, and his ambitions slowly faded beneath bills, responsibilities, and disappointment. One afternoon, while helping a customer move furniture into a large but aging Victorian house on the edge of town, Rowan noticed an elderly woman struggling to carry grocery bags from her car. Most people drove past without a glance. Rowan couldn't ignore it. He walked over, offered help, and carried the bags inside. The woman introduced herself as Celeste Whitmore. The house felt strangely empty despite its size. Dusty family photographs covered the walls. Grand furniture filled rooms that seemed untouched by laughter for years. Yet there was something warm about Celeste. Her silver hair was neatly arranged, her eyes carried wisdom, and her smile felt genuine. As Rowan prepared to leave, she thanked him repeatedly. He thought nothing of it. But the next week, he saw her again outside a pharmacy. Once more, she needed help carrying items. Then he encountered her at a grocery store. Then at the community library. Soon, helping Celeste became a regular part of his routine. Sometimes he fixed things around her house. Sometimes he drove her to appointments. Sometimes he simply listened. And that listening revealed a story he would never forget. Celeste had once been married to a successful businessman named Arthur. They had spent 40 years together and raised no children because they were unable to have any. When Arthur died unexpectedly, relatives appeared from nowhere. They expressed sympathy at first, but soon their true intentions emerged. They wanted money. They wanted property. They wanted control. Over time, one by one, they disappeared when they realized Celeste wouldn't surrender her independence. The large house became quiet. Birthdays became lonely. Holidays became silent. The woman who once hosted gatherings filled with laughter now ate dinner alone at a table meant for 10. Rowan never pitied her. Instead, he admired her resilience. Weeks turned into months. Their friendship deepened naturally. Neighbors started talking. Some found it unusual. Others made assumptions. Rowan ignored them. What nobody understood was that Celeste reminded him of the grandmother he had lost years earlier. And perhaps Rowan reminded Celeste that kindness still existed in the world. One afternoon, while repairing a broken porch railing, Rowan noticed several unopened letters stacked near the doorway. Many were overdue bills. Others were legal notices. Concerned, he asked if everything was all right. That was when Celeste finally revealed another truth. Despite owning the house, she was struggling financially. Medical expenses, property taxes, maintenance costs, and legal disputes had slowly drained her savings. The elegant home that looked impressive from outside was becoming impossible to maintain. For the first time, Rowan saw fear in her eyes. Not fear of poverty. Fear of losing the place that contained every memory of the man she had loved. Determined to help, Rowan spent evenings researching assistance programs, negotiating payment plans, and helping organize documents. He never expected anything in return. Months later, the immediate crisis eased. The house was safe. The bills were manageable. And Celeste seemed happier than she had been in years. Then came the afternoon that changed everything. They were sitting on the porch watching birds gather in the garden. The day was beautiful. A warm breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Celeste looked at him and quietly asked whether he would ever marry a woman twice his age. Rowan froze. The question seemed impossible. His mind raced. He wasn't offended. He wasn't angry. He was simply stunned. But when he looked at her face, he realized something important. She wasn't asking because she expected an answer. She was asking because she was afraid. Afraid of becoming invisible. Afraid of growing old completely alone. Afraid that after everything she had endured, nobody would ever choose to stay. The question wasn't about marriage. It was about worth. It was about belonging. It was about whether age erased a person's value. Rowan answered carefully. He told her that love came in many forms and that every person deserved companionship, respect, and kindness regardless of age. The conversation ended there. Or so he thought. A few weeks later, Celeste suffered a minor health setback that required several days in the hospital. During that time, Rowan visited daily. He brought books, fresh flowers, homemade meals, and simple conversation. The nurses assumed he was family. In many ways, he had become family. When Celeste returned home, she seemed deeply emotional. One evening she handed Rowan a small wooden box. Inside were old photographs, letters, and a handwritten note. The note explained that she had changed her will. Not because Rowan had asked. Not because he expected anything. But because he was the only person who had shown genuine care when she had nothing left to offer except friendship. Rowan tried to refuse. He insisted she didn't owe him anything. But Celeste smiled and told him that true kindness deserved to be remembered. Years passed. Their friendship remained one of the most meaningful relationships either of them had ever known. Rowan eventually returned to school part-time and completed the education he had abandoned years earlier. Encouraged by Celeste's unwavering belief in him, he pursued his dream career. Meanwhile, Celeste found renewed purpose. She began volunteering at local charities and mentoring younger widows who struggled with loneliness. Together, they transformed pain into purpose. Before we reach the end, if this story is touching your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, share this video, and subscribe to Love and Destiny. Your support helps these meaningful stories reach people who may need hope today. Special request, comment below with one word that describes what kindness means to you. On a beautiful afternoon several years later, Rowan sat beside Celeste in the same garden where she had once asked that unforgettable question. Her hair was whiter. His face looked older. But the friendship between them remained strong. As they watched the sunlight dance across the flowers, Rowan realized something profound. The most important relationships are not always the ones society expects. Sometimes the people who change our lives arrive in unexpected forms. Sometimes helping someone carry groceries leads to carrying each other's burdens. And sometimes a simple act of kindness becomes the beginning of a destiny neither person could have imagined. Celeste never became Rowan's wife. But she became something equally precious. Family. And when people later asked Rowan about the greatest gift he had ever received, he never mentioned money, success, or inheritance. He simply said that one afternoon he stopped to help a lonely woman. And in return, she taught him that kindness is never wasted, love has many faces, and the human heart is capable of creating family wherever compassion chooses to grow. If this story moved you, please leave a comment, share it with someone you care about, and remember, one small act of kindness can change two lives forever.